All right then guys, let's give you a little bit of assistance in choosing your broker and setting up a broker. Now, this video is going to be about brokers. I'm going to show you how to set it up. But before I go into all of that, setting up on the Mac, I'm going to go through Admiral Markets. I'm going to go through IG Index. I do not have, just to put it out there, any link with them whatsoever. Now, maybe in the future I will, because I'm building quite a platform here, and some brokers do offer you something called an IB, an introducing broker, where they'll give you a better rate on your personal trades, and you also get small commissions from anybody you introduce. Now, I'm going to be open with this. I haven't done it up to date, but I may do soon. Okay, so this right now, what I'm going to show is not going to be included, or it's not going to affect you. However, there are some people out there who trade like binary options. There are some people out there, maybe even on social media, on Twitter and so on, who will say, come and trade with me, come and take my signals, all right? But you have to sign up to this broker. And why they do that is because they're an IB to that broker. So there's many people out there pushing services down people's throats, whether it's in intrusive ways like through Twitter DMs or Facebook, or even spam, and a lot of it's on LinkedIn as well. I hate LinkedIn. But yeah, just a word of warning that people who are trying to offer you signals, but they say, okay, you're going to get this, but you have to sign up with this link, they're making money from each and every single trade. By all means, don't get me wrong, it's not a lot of money. It might be half a pip or maybe even a pip per trade. So for instance, if you do £10 a pip, they may get like £5 every single trade you do. However, from volume, you can imagine it does build up. Now, a lot of the people out there who are doing this, just to solidify my point, are absolutely terrible at giving signals, and their education may not be up to scratch and so on. So that's how they're making the money. They'll give you a trade, win or lose, they're going to make a profit from that in the end. So I haven't got any IB introducing broker contracts with anyone out there. I've had so many over the last 2 years, brokers contact me and email us saying, you know, we've got this great opportunity, we want to be business partners and so on. And at the end of the day, that's all they're going to offer you is an IB. So I have no connection with those brokers. So I'm going to show you that. Also, I just want to make something clear about your watch list. Your watch list, I've showed you how to configure the watch list on TradingView on the first video in Trading 101. Depending on how much experience you have in the market. Now, first of all, if you're new to the market, or if you just played around on the charts before, I do not recommend going into deep on more than 4 or 5 currencies. So we have the Euro USD, we have the pound dollar, we have the Aussie dollar. Euro yen is my preferred favorite. Some people prefer to trade pound yen or USD yen. Just a word of advice, I would only pick one yen pair and just trade that. Because if you start trying to trade all of these yen pairs, the yens can be a little bit volatile. So if you're placing multiple trades on multiple yen pairs, just be careful, because some of the setups will require a slightly larger stop, a wider stop, okay, than some of the standard majors like Euro USD and so on, just because they're a little bit more volatile in the way they move. Now, what else? Yeah, so Euro yen, and maybe USD CAD or Euro pound. USD CAD and Euro pound are pretty decent to trade, and they're quite easy to analyze as well. So I would recommend those for beginners. Not just beginners actually, but anybody who wants not to have a heart attack with the movement, because the movement on those pairs, Euro pound and USD CAD, aren't half as volatile and liquid as maybe like GBP USD and sometimes Euro USD, and especially the yen pairs as well. So we want to start small. All right, we don't want to, and I've seen this before, like students come into the office, I was like, okay, cool, what do you like to trade? And they'll pull open MetaTrader. The knowledge is all over the place. The structure is non-existent, and at the bottom of MetaTrader, where all the currencies lie, there'll be 10 or 15 currency pairs. I would say to them, all right, cool. You know, tell me the most recent key level which has been achieved on this pair, which has been hit or broken, or which is bounced from, and you wouldn't have a clue. So before going into some of maybe the exotic currency pairs, I like pound New Zealand, GBP AUD. By all means, it's great to branch out into those afterwards, because sometimes you can find a lot more movement in those pairs when the majors are pretty much dead and maybe in a consolidation range. Spreads are a little higher, don't get me wrong, however they move quite fast. So the aim here is to grab some currency pairs with your post-mortem analysis, which I'm going to show you at the end, a part of your journaling, okay? You're going to actually, once you've done the trades, once you put the befores and afters together, once you've actually done some live trades perhaps, then you can actually go through your prior trades and see, okay, which currency pairs did you perform great with? Which currency pairs did you not perform not so great with? And ditch the ones that you're not too good at, keep the ones that you're good at. Some people have a gift for some people have a gift for others. Now, with that being said, you can only really do this by trial and error and experience. That's why I don't recommend you going head first into going all out on all of these currency pairs. Get to know a few, trial and error, let some go, maybe bring some more in, okay? Keep the balance there before moving on and getting serious. So your watch list is going to be important. We don't need loads. We want to, less is more, okay? Play around with them. Make sure you do your befores and afters. Come back and do the post-mortem analysis to see how well you're getting on with those until you have your favored watch list set up, and you can just day in, day out, you're living these currency pairs out, you're familiar with all of the key levels, you're familiar with the last few months, of lows, monthly highs, weekly lows, weekly highs, reversal points, huge points in the market where fundamentals may have played a part, manipulation points, accumulation points, and so on. So yeah, this is just advice, and it's quite solid advice as well, to be honest. And it's something that I personally, when I first started, I was all over the place with. I was like, okay, cool, I want to trade randomly. Okay, I want to trade euro today. I want to trade pound today. No, we shouldn't be doing that. We should be reading the market correctly. Remember, the daily candlestick closes at 10 p.m. and it does as well on our Admiral and our IG markets. That's why, again, I picked those brokers. So we can look at TradingView, 10 p.m, look at our watch list. Takes you 5 minutes to just run through to see, okay, is there a potential setup for the day ahead? And then you want to go in and nail that in the morning. Last but not least, in terms of how many trades you should be placing at one time, I would not recommend more than 2 at once. No more than 2 trades running at once. Why? Because you can get very, very stressed out. If you have 4 or 5 trades running, it's all over the place. I've had people back in the day send me stuff on Facebook, say, help me with my account. They've showed me their account. There was this one guy who got in touch with me, and he had, I can't remember his balance, I think it was like $40,000 or $30,000. And he's been in some sell trades for over a year. Okay, on USD CAD, and USD CAD shot up. He had no stop loss. They're only small trades, don't get me wrong, but the quantity of his trades. He attached it to my FX book, and we broke down all of his statistics, and he was over 100,000 pips down. That's right, 100,000 pips. I didn't think it could have, it was possible, but believe me, because they just left all of his trades, the market ran a few thousand pips against him, but the amount of trades he actually put on, it's just a mess. Just stupid stuff. All right, so we don't want to get caught up in that. We want to get clean, precise trades, risk reward. After all of the course, you'll have a great idea as how to do this. It's not rocket science. Okay, less is more. Pick your trades wisely and keep on top of 1 or 2. So even if you had 4 or 5 on there, you could get 2 great trades in, and the others could just boom, crash, burn, knock all of your profits out, and you're just going to be going in circles. Okay, so we don't want to be stressed out throughout the day, trying to keep an eye on, because trade management as well, which I'm going to go into soon, is a very, very important factor. What I mean by that is when we're in a trade, we always have to keep an eye on what news is out. Shall I move my stop loss past break even? Shall I cut this trade? Is there a potential reversal coming? I need to maybe get out and take profits. There's all of that comes, which is just another level as well. So get your watch list down, post-mortem analysis, throw out the good stuff, throw out the bad stuff, bring in the good stuff, less trades to start off with, and go from there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go onto the screencast now, and I'm going to start with abnormal markets, and then I'm going to chop it up into, I'll record my phone and I'll show you how to connect the account to that, and then I'll go onto IG index and I'll show you how to connect and download the app for that as well. So it's completely up to you. If you don't need any of this information in the video, that's completely fine. It's just a guideline for those who are completely fresh and new to the market, because we're trying to cover everything here to get you guys started. Okay, so here we go.